If you're thinking about moving to Calgary, it might be a terrible decision. Now, Calgary is not for everyone. There's some people that love it and there's some people that hate it. So in this video, I'm gonna go through the 7 harsh truths of living in Calgary so that you know the big deal breakers before you get here. Now, the first harsh truth that you should know about is Calgary is very dry. So you're gonna have really dry knuckles that sometimes crack and bleed, especially during the winter. Your lips are gonna be very chapped. And this is a big problem for people that have sensitive skin or have existing conditions like eczema, because it makes it worse. Like if you already have dry skin, Calgary's probably gonna make that worse. So just know that it can be uncomfortable for some people, and that you're probably gonna have to moisturize and put on some chapstick and stuff like that. But there are some pros to having dry weather as well, such as winter isn't as cold and we have less mold and mildew than places like Vancouver, because obviously we're less humid. But that's the first harsh truth that you should be aware of. And let's move on to the second. The second harsh truth about living in Calgary is related to allergies. Now, Calgary has a lot of grass, weeds, and trees, and all of those produce pollen. So if you're sensitive to pollen, just know you're gonna experience a lot of it during spring and summer. Now, another thing that I really want to mention is that BC and Northern Alberta, there's like always wildfires around us every year. And that causes a lot of smoke to come into Calgary. Now, I have a friend that has asthma, and every time this happens, he has to basically stay indoors because he can't breathe. It really bothers him. So if you have asthma, just be aware of that. You won't be able to hike, run, stuff like that for like 1 or 2 weeks of the year because we usually get smoke in Calgary. Harsh truth number 3 about living in Calgary is it can be kind of hard to find a job if you're not in a key industry. Now, if you work in oil and gas, the tech sector, healthcare, or construction, something like that, it'll be easier for you to find a job. Also, if you're entrepreneurial, Calgary is a very entrepreneurial city, so it'll be a good place for you. But if you work in an industry like the arts and entertainment or the food industry, or you're looking for like a retail job, it's gonna be a lot harder for you. In December 2024, our unemployment rate was 7.8%, which is higher than the national average of 6.7%. So just be aware of that too. Harsh truth number 4 is it's a drive-in city. So if you don't have a driver's license, you don't have a car, or you just don't like driving, it's gonna be harder to get around. Now, Calgary is very spread out and we have decent public transit, but who wants to wait all that time to get on the bus or train? And especially when it's cold during the winter, when it's like -20, that crap sucks. So this is a deal breaker for some people. I'd really encourage you, if you are someone that doesn't drive, I'd really encourage you to think about your lifestyle and how that actually impacts you, because you might be okay with, you know, a 1-hour commute at the beginning or during the summer, but it's a different story when you've been there for 3 years and it's winter. Like, it really gets to you. So just think about it more. Harsh truth number 5 about living in Calgary is that we kind of lack nightlife and culture compared to other cities. So if you're moving to Calgary looking for that big city lifestyle like New York City, Toronto, Vancouver, where there's a huge art scene and always stuff happening, yeah, Calgary's not like that. You're gonna be very bored, and that drives some people crazy. Now, there's still restaurants and stuff to go to, but stuff closes earlier. And once you've been here for like a year or two, you start to struggle to find new things to do. At least me and my girlfriend have, and a lot of people we've spoken to. So I'd just be prepared for that. If you're looking for a city where there's constant things to do, constant new experiences, you might get bored in Calgary. Harsh truth number 6 seems pretty obvious for most people, but the cold winters in Calgary. Now, if you don't like winter driving, you don't like layering up, you don't like the cold, then Calgary's probably not the place for you. It's one of those things where you have to embrace the winter or else it sucks, which means you're gonna have to go skiing, snowboarding, you're gonna have to go sledding, skating, playing hockey, stuff like that to enjoy the winter, or else you're gonna be spending a lot of time indoors and it's not gonna be as fun and you're just gonna be uncomfortable. So if you don't like layering up, you don't like driving in the winter, I'd really contemplate whether Calgary is right for you. And yeah, and I have an entire video here that goes over everything you would need to know about winters in Calgary, so you know exactly what to expect. I'd highly encourage you to watch that if you're considering moving to Calgary and you're not sure whether you can handle winters, because it'll give you more insight into that. Harsh truth number 7 is if you live for humidity, water sports, the ocean, Calgary's not for you. I mean, we're dry, we're in the middle of the prairies, in the middle of the country, so it's kind of limited. We do have lake communities and we have 2 rivers going through Calgary, but it's just not the same. This is especially true if you love swimming in the water because the rivers can be very cold. So those are the 7 harsh truths about living in Calgary. If you got value from this video, please hit the like and subscribe button. And if you have any questions about moving to Calgary or just Calgary in general, leave a comment or email me at zach@yourcalgaryrealty.com. Now for more Calgary and Calgary real estate related content, be sure to hit the subscribe button and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.